You said something very insightful earlier about how only one side is held to a nonviolent standard. Same with Israel. Is this a symptom of increasing polarization? I don't know what causes that. I'm not sure. Okay, James Trupus, a former judge in Wisconsin who I believe was hired as the lead attorney for Trump in Wisconsin. He's the one that reached out. Did Mr. Trupus mention anything to you about states other than Wisconsin in his initial outreach, which is focused on Wisconsin? After you received that call on or about November 10th, what'd you do? I started helping on his effort to recount Wisconsin. What types of things did you do to help? I think Mr. Kaufman probably has an objection. Yeah, I think at this point we would invoke attorney-client privilege to the substance of the work that he did for the campaign. Okay. On that point, did you ever have an engagement letter that memorialized an attorney-client relationship with President Trump or the Trump campaign? There was a confirmatory email, I think, that was turned over, but no formal engagement letter. That email came from Mr. Trupus, I believe. Yeah, it was confirming that I was helping him on the case. I was doing the whole thing pro bono without charging, so that apparently he thought it was not necessary to have a formal retention letter because the client wouldn't have a monetary outlay. Interesting. Were there other communications, either confirmatory or explaining the scope of the services that you're going to be providing pro bono on behalf of the Trump campaign? I think I don't recall the specifics. There was just an email exchange between me and Mr. Trupus. Mr. Kaufman, I guess, could address that in terms of the documents that may have forwarded. Other than the email you're discussing here, did you ever later in time receive any other type of engagement letter or confirmatory email seeking your assistance to help with legal services for the campaign? Mr. Kaufman reviewed the specifics there as being okay. Is there anything like of interest here? I don't need to read this entire fucking deposition. Pro tip, always get a retention letter, even for pro bono work, if only to act as a record of the scope and service of the work. Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't get that in writing. If even, like, I wonder if your attorney-client privilege could ever be called into question if you didn't even get that letter, right? Could somebody not claim that, like, well, you're not giving him advice as an attorney, you're just, like, giving him advice as a friend. Like, we can inquire about all of this. There is no attorney-client privilege here because you don't even have an attorney-client relationship that's, like, actually, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know, it seems, but I don't know, I'm not sure. Do you have any meetings with the president? Dan, we're going to, I think the idea, the concept of the people with whom Mr. Chesbrough met, we're going to invoke a Fifth Amendment privilege. Okay, so Mr. Chesbrough, I understand what your lawyer just said. Ultimately, that's your privilege to assert, and so if you would like to respond to any of these questions, being clear that you're applying the Fifth Amendment or asserting the Fifth Amendment, we appreciate that, but we do need to have that come from you. Right, yes, so just in the advice of my lawyer, I'm invoking my Fifth. Okay, and just to be clear, the question, did you have any direct communications with President Trump? He's invoking the Fifth there. Oh, speaking on Signal. He's spoken to somebody through Signal, but he can't talk about the substance of it because he's invoking attorney-client privilege. Invoking the Fifth about the 2 tracks to win the election. Chat froze on stream. One day, this will stop freezing. What do we have for exhibits here? Do they show exhibits in these PDFs? Fuck, cringe. Attorney-client privilege and Fifth Amendment. Can't disclose any communication here. Nothing here. Okay, fuck this. Okay. Kenneth Chesborough was an attorney from Wisconsin who began working the Trump campaign at the behest of, what was Troupis' first name? Jim Troupis? Another lawyer for Trump's campaign around November 9th, 2020. He was responsible for the creation of the first few memos outlining potential scheme that Trump could utilize to challenge the certification of the electoral vote on January 6th. Chesborough believed that if people gathered and falsely attested to being legitimate state electors and transmitted said votes on December 14th to Congress and NARA, that it would keep Trump's chances alive to win the election should a court rule in his favor from between December 14th, the date that the electors in all 50 states certified their votes for president, and January 6th, the date that Congress was scheduled to count the electorate slates. Are all insurrections definitively coups? I'm not sure. Probably tomorrow. I think I did it on Thursday. Tomorrow, Wednesday. I've got two really good sources for how we'll like iron down or nail down like exactly what we mean when we say insurrection or coup. Okay, let's see. December 9th, 2020, Chesborough memo. Can we find this? To Troopus from Chesbro. Here's a summary of the requirements under federal law and under the law of the 6 states in controversy concerning what is required for presidential electors to validly... Wait, were there 6 or 7 of these? I feel like I've always said 7. Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, wait, which... Hold on, wait. False electorate slates. Why is the internet so slow right now? Six originally, then they added 1. Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Yeah, okay, there were 7. All right. It appears that even though none of the Trump-Pence electors are currently certified as having been elected by the voters of their state, most of the electors, with the possible exception of the Nevada electors, will be able to take the essential steps needed to validly cast and transmit their votes so that the votes might be eligible to be counted if later recognized by a court, the state legislature, or Congress as the valid ones that actually count in the presidential election. On why this could work, see here and here. Fuck, what are these links? They can do so without any involvement by the governor or any other state official, except in some states where access to the Capitol building is or might be needed, or where the governor must approve a substitute elector, or in Nevada, where the Secretary of State is involved. It's important that the Trump-Pence campaign focus carefully on these details as soon as possible if the aim is to ensure that all 79 electoral votes are properly cast and transmitted, each electoral vote being potentially important. If the election ultimately extends to and perhaps past January 6th in Congress, the National Archives is a very helpful checklist here. Federal law. Requirements for the December 14th electors meeting are set out in 3 U.S.C. Subsection 6 to 11. Under federal law, the Trump-Pence electors must all meet together on December 14th at such place in each state as the legislature of such state shall direct. In most states, there is no requirement that they meet in public. It might be preferable for them to meet in private, if possible, to thwart the ability of protesters to disrupt the event. Witness, via this video, what happened when the Trump-Pence electors met in public in Wisconsin in 2016, even though the Trump-Pence victory had not been contested. Even if held in private, perhaps print and even TV journalists would be invited to attend to cover the event. Okay. Preferably all electors who were on the ballot in the particular state would be in attendance, but if some are unwilling due to intimidation or unable to make it, at least 4 of the states permit the electors who do attend to fill the empty slots with alternates. However, it is vital that any party stalwarts who are on hand to fill in if necessary, be constitutionally eligible to serve as per Article 2, Section not a federal official or federal employee. The electors would then all vote for Trump for president and Pence for vice president separately. The electors would then prepare and sign 6 identical sets of papers, certificates listing all separate headings their votes, indicating that each of them has voted for Trump for president and Pence for vice president. For example, see here. The only thing ordinarily contemplated by Section 9 that the Trump-Pence electors would not be able to do is include with their certificates the certificate of ascertainment that the governor is directed to give the winning electors pursuant to 3 U.S.C. Section 6. But as the Hawaii 1960 example shows, see here and here, this is hardly fatal. Proof that the Trump-Pence electors are the validly appointed ones can be furnished to Congress before it meets on January 6th. Next, the electors would place each certificate in a separate envelope, seal up the envelopes, and indicate on the outside of the envelopes that they contain the votes of the state for president and vice president. Finally, electors are Ooh. Oh no. Why would you not link the article? Wait, hold on. He might have made a comment. I linked it. Okay. You're lucky. You're lucky. By Rachel Janfaza. Hey dude, off topic, but in the past, how'd you learn to maneuver toxic relationships without allowing guilt trips to prey on your emotions? My ex, offing herself after I wanted space. She's blaming me / not letting me move on. Wait, she killed herself and now she's blaming you for killing herself? I don't understand. What? Alex Mahadevan, who works to debunk misinformation as the director of MediaWise at the Poynter Institute, a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization, said young people's increased trust in the online chattering class rather than in the mainstream media was a problem because content creators, unlike most journalists, are bound by no journalistic ethics. That pertains to people across the political spectrum. Hasan Piker, a popular left-leaning streamer on Twitch and YouTube, shares as much misinformation as anyone on the right. Oh, ho, ho, no. Oh, ho, oh, no. I'm not here, am I? Oh, okay. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. Uh-oh.
What? The voices young conservatives are listening to online? What?
It's funny, he's only getting this linked because he wants to see his name in it. There's no shot that he would read an article longer than like 180 characters.
Alex Mahadevan, who works to debunk misinformation at the director of Poynter.
Oh, hold on. Just as a quick thing. His next step here, the reason why I was late today, again, is because I was pre-watching everything. The next step for what Hasan is going to do is he's going to Google this guy's name, go through his Twitter, and then he's going to Google the company and go through their Twitter to see if he can find anything that looks even remotely not supportive of progressivism on the whole, and then he's going to call them Nazis or genocide supporters or whatever he can find to link them to a bad particular thing, and then he's going to write them off and move on from there. There you go.
Institute, a nonpartisan nonprofit organization. Wait, what? Who the fuck is this dickhead? He said I share as much misinformation as anyone on the right.
Oof.
A nonpartisan nonprofit organization said young people's increased trust in the online chattering class rather than mainstream media was a problem because, bro, you have to be on crack cocaine to have this take. Was a problem because content creators, unlike most journalists, are bound by journalistic ethics. That pertains to people across the political spectrum. Hasan Piker, a popular left-leaning streamer on Twitch and YouTube, shares as much misinformation as anyone on the right, he added. Mr. Mahadevan said the preference for content that a firm believes stem from what he called a core human desire, the need for validation.
Oh, no.
Show me this motherfucker's Twitter right now.
Hold on. Player Piano, thank you for the 10 gift subs.
What the fuck is this dipshit talking about?
It's going to be something about Israel.
What the
That's my guess.
Fuck is
something
this
about
dipshit
Israel
talking about? And this dumb fuck follows me too.
Find something to discredit him. Let's go.
Dumb centrist fuck.
Oh, okay, centrist. Okay. True. Okay, keep going.
I like that he waited for the end of the open.
Okay, keep going. Don't worry, you'll find something to write him off. You can do it.
Bro, in an article...
Do you agree with the article's claim as a whole? Like, does Hasan share as much misinfo as someone like Tim Pool? Yes, absolutely. Or maybe more, just because of the raw amount of hours that he streams. Like Tim Pool shares as much misinformation as possible, but I think Hasan does as well. I mean, like if you want to see the quality of the man, I mean, like this is Hasan's style of research. How many Twitter threads do we have open today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 Twitter threads today. Wow. And this open tab right here might be 20. If that, oh no, that's the article. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is, Hasan is he's pervasive when it comes to spreading misinformation.
Where they're talking about like people consistently
Yep.
in an article where you are talking about right-wing sentiment and how much misinformation plays in the right-wing sphere.
Yep.
To turn around and be like, actually, there's a guy out there who's, reporting on said misinformation.
Duck Festini Fan 1, thanks for the 10 gifted subs.
Me, and addressing it with empirical evidence.
Love that never happening.
I love that the fucking Pointer Institute.
Oh, hold on.
Top funders of Pointer Institute.
Oh, here we go.
Fucking idiotic.
Maybe military industrial complex. What can we find? Come on, you can find something. Oh, wait. Do you think that politics streamers not being bound by journalist ethics is an actual issue? Yeah, of course. It's a huge issue. Alternative media is dog shit when it comes to sourcing or ethics or anything like that. Yeah, 100%.
Have him on the defend his take? I do want to have him on the defend his take.
Oh, now he wants to debate this guy?
Oh, my Lord. He's going to say the Ukraine thing, the hospital bombing thing, that's good enough for him to call you a misinformation spreader. Do not interact with these weirdos. This just seems like you're whining.
Ooh, uh-oh.
Okay, you know what? What the fuck am I doing? This loser has 2,000 fucking Twitter followers and works for a fucking right-wing or centrist, hyper-centrist think tank.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go.
Anyway. You're going to blow him up? You said your name on purpose? Yeah. Top donors from the Charles Koch Institute. The Stand Together Fellowship
there you
of the
go.
Charles Koch Institute.
There we go. Koch brothers. Yep. Far right. We got him. We can ignore this, guys.
No, you're not whining. You take your news accuracy seriously. And when some fucker questions that, of course you're upset. Yeah, no.
We got him.
He's very pro-Israel too in all of his writings. Yeah, that's probably why he's saying I'm spreading misinformation, because I think Palestinians are human beings.
Got the Israel thing.
Shut the fuck up with this dumb poop sock, brother. Are you a fucking child? The New York Times. This asshole's on the fucking New York Times being like, oh, this dude is spreading as much misinformation. Most of my commentary hyper focuses on fucking right-wing misinfo. The people that this article is literally about. People that I've directly called out for spreading misinformation. And this centrist Koch-backed think tank guy goes in and is like, oh, actually the left is spreading misinformation as well. Yeah, you're right, dude. Extremely both sides.
I don't know how I do it. I'm sorry, guys.
What are you doing? Why are you posting your own fucking tweets?
It's hard to pre-watch reality. Now we just need to say it was a DGGer. He's a secret DGGer.
There's nothing more frustrating than a shitty, supposedly centrist liberal, okay, operating in a fucking supposedly centrist think tank that gets money from the Koch brothers, or the Koch brother now, okay, that turns around on both sides of the shit. It's like, just say it with your chest. Like, who the fuck wrote this article, dude? How are you on crack? You just didn't, like, I got a mention, but I didn't get a fucking call? That's crazy. Fucking bad journalism, in my opinion.
True.
Mr. Mahadevan said the preference for content affirmed belief stems from what he calls a core human desire, the need for validation. Confirmation bias and motivated reasoning are so powerful in humans, he said. We want to believe the facts that confirm what we think. Yeah, Mr. Mahadevan added that the way some people selectively consumed mainstream media news was exemplified after the shooting of Mr. Trump at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday. What did I do? Most of what I did after he got shot was literally actively cast aside misinformation and explain to people media literacy. This is most of what I do is media literacy.
Media literacy. Unreal. How many Twitter tabs do we have open here? I'm curious. Can anybody go through? Like, you know what? Fuck it. I got nothing better to do. Do you think we can find him reading a full article a single time today? Because he's got like 4 or 5 articles open. I wonder if he ever has read a full news article. Let's check. Okay, well, we've got watching him on a show, tweets, camera, YouTube video, tweets, YouTube video, or tweet video. Oh, we brought up an article. Hold up. Is he reading an article?
Anyway, the line of
oh my God, he might be. Oh my God, he might be reading an article.
Like I said, these are the reasons why I am Bashar pilled. Here's the AFLCI.
Bashar pilled? Not Bashar al-Assad. Wait, what was he saying? I don't know. I don't want to know.
I also writing in 2023 November, if we don't have Bashar back in there, we won't have a firewall anymore.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay, something different. Okay. I don't know what the fuck this is. Andy Bashar, okay.
I'm so scared that they're going to go with fucking Pete Buttigieg, though. Now, that's a motherfucker who's not pro-labor. Okay? He doesn't have the instinct. He only fights in a way that appeals to liberals. He's just, he is basically our JD Vance. He's got more charisma than JD Vance, but that's not saying much because JD Vance is like a Donald Trump Jr. style
What?
pick. Anyway, the line of Louisville, baby.
Okay, he's going to read it.
Yeah, that would be fucking terrible. Do you remember on the picket line, he sounded like a strikebreaker spy? I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Read
as
it.
labor.
He's going to read it.
Not as labor, as trans. It wasn't the best deal. Oh, actually, an interesting question. So family father, man. Like, I'm kind of jumping over things that I wanted to get to in a timely manner because I just got, you know, I'm a fan of this man. Like, as far as I've seen, he seems like a really, really solid choice. This is our best ticket. Bashar, absolutely.
Okay, another tweet. Wait, back to this article.
A black and Indian woman on the ticket.
We got this article.
Goddamn tweet and message.
Oh, another article.
He's got a focus group happening in the back of his fucking mind at all times. He's a McKinsey guy. He's
Does he literally? He actually just reads headlines? Is this the actual meme? It looks like he reads a tweet about an article, then he opens the article, and then he reads the headline, and then he just goes to the next thing? Does he actually read any of these?
He's got a focus group happening in the back of his fucking mind at all times. He's a McKinsey guy. Anyway, but yeah, he's pro-union.
Okay,
he's
another
right to work. He's eviscerated charter schools in his
media literacy, by the way.
State.
Can he even read?
About their campaign was just me.
Okay.
Shapiro, fuck no.
More of a YouTube video thing.
There's got to be limit.
Okay. Another YouTube video.
I know he's like thinking in his mind. Vance.
YouTube video. Oh, tweet.
Two things. There's two who do that last time around.
Camera.
Here's JD Vance is doing that too, by the way. He is on the ballot. Singular
Twitter video. Tweet.
Vice President Kamala Harris. Do you think personally?
Oh, hold on. Oh no, wait. Is this the thing that triggered him? Yeah, this is the thing that triggered him. He didn't read this article.
Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy.
YouTube video. YouTube video.
So I actually made a bet.
Hutch, probably shitting on Hutch.
I made a $100 bet that they would not replace Biden, and I'm hoping. I think there's like a 50-50.
Dude, why the fuck would you get your fucking politics from a goddamn Call of Duty player, dude? Like, I'm sorry. You're like, this is what you deserve. If you're like, oh, I wonder what like an older COD player has to say about this particular thing, like you deserve to. Hutch
has read more news articles cover to cover in 1 month than Hasan has in 2 years. I'd bet my life on that. Easy.
Be wrong all the time. Like, that's just what's going to happen.
50 chance that he forgets.
MSNBC, and at a time, he's hitting.
YouTube video. Tweet.
Literally avoid the name association.
Tweet.
Thank you, guys.
Another video.
Thing in my power.
YouTube video. Tweet.
With insane. With
YouTube video.
She's definitely not going to do it.
Tweet.
Voters.
Wait. Hold on. This is an article.
Who's in support of Benjamin.
Is he going to read this one?
Voters used to reckon with this reality.
Oh my God. Hold on. He might be reading this article.
Obama was another economy. And Barack Obama. Just by millions of people who actually been with insane.
Okay.
Buggers. That's true. It was one of the best. Obama was another guy, by the way.
Okay. Here we go.
For Kamala being better in Gaza, I think, like I said, it's a bit of a tricky situation. She's on issues where Joe Biden is weak or was weak. Scahill actually scrutinized the record. Harris better the Gaza war even if she expressed moral and tactical disagreement while she does not have half a century of overwhelming support for Israel's brutality and militarism like Biden.
Jeremy Scahill is one of the disgusting authors that was involved in denying the any of the sexual assaults or at least any of the reporting on the sexual assaults on The Intercept. He's the guy that started with Ryan Grimm and somebody else that Drop News or whatever, Drop Site News.
And she does have a record of hardline support for Israel. So, like, what I'm looking for in this situation is she going to be... Obama was another guy, by the way, who was critical of Israel, and then on his way out, he gave $38 billion to Israel.
Well, he at least read this article.
Netanyahu called him boy, basically, over and over again. Netanyahu famously said Barack Obama was a young boy who didn't know anything about the Middle East.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, dude.
Banning chatters.
Do you mean Joe Biden is a secret Jew?
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
So I think she will pick up a lot. She will pick up. There's like 8. Didn't just read like.
Okay, here we go. Let's.
Within hours of Joe Biden announcing he would not seek re-election, the Democratic Party's power elite began consolidating the support for Vice President Kamala Harris. I think Michigan, in the critical state of Michigan alone, where a devastating poll from the Detroit Free Press on Sunday morning showed Biden down 7 percentage points to Trump across the state, where there were over 100,000 uncommitted primary voters. You will not win Michigan if you don't fix the message on Gaza, and not only the.
Kind of skipped a middle sentence there, but that was okay. Still counts. I'll give him the first paragraph. He skipped like half of it, but that's okay.
Fix the message on Gaza, but you also have to demonstrate that there is now a change in attitude that people can believe in. Okay, like it's over. It's Jover at that point. It's actually fucking super Jover.
Is this an article from someone he agrees with? Yes. This is a disgusting misinformation propagandist. This guy, I think this guy's actually on my blacklist for like, you just shouldn't even waste your time reading unless you want to just do research to like debunk bad talking points. Blacklist, media blacklist. Yes. Jeremy Scahill. He's on here. He is on here. He's a dog shit journalist. Okay, but don't worry. Let's see. But listen, hey, if at least he reads something, even if it's a bad article, at least he reads it. Maybe. Let's see.
Keep trying to stress, but people refuse to reckon with this reality for some reason, and they think like, oh, if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, then good luck getting deported is not going to be the winning message that you think it is. Okay. Notably, the mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, Abdullah Hammoud, did not immediately come out in favor of Harris. Instead, he posted, "Dems have an opportunity to be bold this convention to nominate a candidate who can usher historic policy domestically and abandon the genocidal course charted in Gaza and beyond. America needs a candidate who can inspire voters to come out of the ballot box this November."
Okay. Nice.
75% of those uncommitted voters will fold when faced with Trump in a real election. Primaries, meh. It appears to me that I have more Democrats. Okay. This attitude is exactly how Trump won.
Oh my God. He's going to read this. He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
Okay.
I believe
Party
him.
has like convinced. Nah, they'll just get scared and they'll vote.
He's going to do
It's
it.
very stupid. I don't know how the Democratic Party and the media apparatus that accompanies the Democratic Party has
He's
like
gonna
convinced
do it.
normal people, not people whose.
Okay. Come on. Let's go. Next paragraph.
Now, it's not just Gaza. Okay. But if she continues from top of the ticket Democrats and from the establishment Democrats in the party on we will be the border control party, that is a massive. The president was scheduled to attend an event for his.
No.
Okay. Harris plans private meeting with Netanyahu. She skips. That is a massive failure.
Did
okay?
he?
Harris plans private meeting with Netanyahu. She skips congressional address. The vice president was scheduled to attend an event for his Zeta Phi Beta sorority in Indianapolis before the Israeli prime minister's address date was sent.
No. Okay. He's going to read this article. This article's like 3 paragraphs. He'll read this one.
She's not going to be there for BB's joint address to Congress, but will conduct a separate bilateral meeting with the Israeli prime minister this week at the White House.
Okay. Oh my God. We're going to get this one. We're going to do this one.
To attend an event for a sorority. That doesn't really mean much. Like that's something you can totally say you're not going to if you thought it was important enough for you to put yourself out there as someone who's in
That's
support
fine.
of
We count it. We count
Why
those.
should you be speaking to Congress?
We
Because
count
I think
those.
they just want every
Come on,
American,
one more.
100% Americans
There's
to
like
believe in
one more
conspiracy.
paragraph in 2 sentences. You can do it. Come on.
That's got to be the reason. Because
He's on the perfect line. Come on, one more.
ICJ decision coming down, declaring Israel to be an apartheid state. Okay, something that pretty much every NGO, every human rights organization agrees on, including Israeli human rights organizations.
Come on. You got it.
It's just completely ridiculous. You have upcoming ICC arrest warrants. The ICJ just said there. Great.
You can do it. In a one-on-one meeting with Netanyahu.
So.
Oh. Okay.
Look at John Oliver in a little bit. So.
He's an actual headline reader. He's like, this is the cancer killing my country, unironically. He reads the headline, and that's his presentation. Wait, hold on. There's still 3 more hours left of the stream. Hold on. Whoa, wait, he's coming back.
I have confidence
Oh, he's coming back. In her one-on-one meeting. Okay, there's like, oh my God, he's so close. Hold on, we can do this.
in Kamala Harris.
Let's go.
As far as like changing the course, changing the trajectory of like.
Let's go. Come on, let's go. In her one-on-one meeting with Netanyahu.
Years, absolutely is not the person. Israel security and right to defense. Oh, we shall see.
Hold on.
In her one-on-one meeting with Netanyahu, Harris plans to reiterate her commitment to Israel's security and right to defend itself, but will also convey her view that it is time for the war to end in a way where Israel is secure, all hostages are released, the suffering of Palestinian civilians in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can enjoy their right to dignity, freedom, and self-determination. Harris also plans to discuss the ongoing negotiations on a ceasefire deal. There's some daylight between Harris and Biden on the issue of Israel and Gaza for months. Since the beginning of the war, Harris has been telling colleagues in the administration, including Biden, that she wants the White House to show more concern publicly for the humanitarian damage in Gaza. This at least shows that she has the right political instincts, even if she does not morally care about apartheid and genocide.
He's going to do this. He will get through this article. 3 more paragraphs, and then I think that's it.
Better than Joe, I guess.
Come on. You can do it.
Not saying much.
He's on the run.
To state solution. Close to the vice president's office said she believes the United States should be tougher on Netanyahu.
He's not even
Calls
skipping
for being
sentences
more
on this
seeking
one.
a long-term peace deal and a two-state solution.
Okay.
President pro tempore Patty Murray, who would have been next in line to the president over Netanyahu's joint address, declined to do so, according to a spokesperson. The person also told Politico the senator won't be attending the address at all. A growing number of congressional Democrats are boycotting the event. Every Democrat should boycott this event.
Okay.
It is ridiculous.
This is the end.
Senator Ben Cardin will instead be the senator behind Netanyahu on Wednesday, according to a person familiar with the plans who was granted anonymity to discuss private conversations. Meanwhile, Capitol Police officials have warned lawmakers and staff about the protesters in the days leading up to the visit from Netanyahu. There will be increased security around the Capitol complex, especially Wednesday when Netanyahu is scheduled to speak.
Good job. Thank God. My new streamer. Hell yes.
Are you condemning a lie? What? Dude, come on. Is this the top of the hour average debate? Is that what we're doing now? You didn't even spell it correctly. No. Well, I'm not lying. At the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute average regardless. It will also, once again, look really fucking bad. Oh, by the month, user on your favorite. Harris supported Biden's policies even if she... Jonathan lists for Haaretz.
Oh, we went back to this article.
And to even expend political capital. And if she doesn't do that, I suspect she will lose Michigan, regardless. and she won't be able to capture enough of the youth vote that the Democrats desperately need.
Okay, hold on. He's about to read this paragraph.
Jonathan lists for Haaretz says those around Netanyahu say the meeting with Biden may not take.
Okay. He's going to do. Hold on.
Anyway, Harris supported Biden's policies even if she raised tactical objections or expressed moral unease with the horrifying death toll. While Harris is not Biden and does not have half a century of overwhelming support for Israel's brutality and militarism, fueling her positions, she does have her own record of hardline support for Israel, both as senator and as vice president.
Okay.
Soon after being elected in the Senate in 2016, Harris earned the reputation as an ardent defender of Israel. She
This is a big paragraph he's about to read. I hope he breaks it up with some commentary.
spoke 2 years in a row at AIPAC. Conferences co-sponsored legislation aimed at undermining the United Nations resolution condemning Israel's illegal annexation of Palestinian land. One of her first international trips as a senator was to Israel, where she met Benjamin Netanyahu in 2017. I support the United States' commitment to provide Israel with $38 billion in military assistance over the next decade. Harris told an AIPAC conference that year. That was Obama. That was Obama's wonderful gift on his way out. I believe the bonds between the United States and Israel are unbreakable, and we can never let anyone drive a wedge between us. As long as I'm a United States senator, I will do everything in my power to ensure broad and bipartisan support for Israel's security and right to self-defense.
Damn, that was a huge paragraph.
Harris has compared building support for Israel and the coalitions forged during the U.S. civil rights movement and embraced President Donald Trump's Abraham Accords, just like the rest of the fucking dumbasses in the Democratic Party. Achievement in 2016 are
Okay.
especially crimes against Palestinians,
Nice.
weapons to Israel is one of those like who about
Okay.
it.
Oh, he might
That's why
read
I'm
one
fucking
more.
Yell about Bernie Sanders as well.
Wait.
I have to fix that if she wants to.
He has read 2. We give him that.
Anyway. Wait, Israel didn't like the nuclear deal? Of course, more than it did. I don't know what will have confidence that she is.
Don't know about
all
this.
those things. She's
Tweet.
another
YouTube
Democratic
video.
governor, and now we'll be locked and insane if you care
Video,
about
tweet.
Harris, officially-
YouTube
he just-
video. YouTube video.
Democratic
YouTube
fact that I've
video.
been- She made
policy.
Video.
Quit. And to turn dumb as
Tweet.
to go out of your way.
Video. Chat. TikTok.
Yes,
Video.
Because a side
Video.
note,
Video.
So,
Video.
honestly,
Video.
Taking on.
Video.
And more.
Video.
First
Video.
off.
Okay. Hey, listen.
Gretchen Whitmer with the track record on
2 articles. We give him that. We give him that. Okay. Okay. Back to our autistic legal quibbles. Okay, Arizona. What I want to know is, how does Arizona prescribe the choice of the electors? It seems like they really don't list any other requirements. All they say is, on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November 1956 and quadriennially thereafter, there shall be elected a number of presidential electors equal to the number of United States senators and representatives in Congress from this state. After the Secretary of State issues the statewide canvass containing the results of a presidential election, the presidential electors of this state shall cast their electoral college votes for the candidate for president and the candidate for vice president, who jointly received the highest number of votes in the state as prescribed in the canvass. Okay, I would argue, because fuck these guys, unless there's some other provision that I'm not aware of. Let's see, what is this? Title 16. No, it's not Title 16, I'm sorry. Or no, I think it is. That's 16 dash. This is all for the election stuff. I don't think there's anything else. Wait, voting procedure for ill electors or electors with disabilities. Don't care about this. Manner of voting, assistance for certain electors. This is about people actually voting the election. Okay, this is just for actual. These aren't like the electors. Corruption of electors. This is for paying for votes. Okay. Registration of electors. I still think this is just for normal like citizens, right? The county recorder adjusted the piece. Registration of any qualified person requesting registration information. Regarding the qualification necessary to register to vote. Okay. Electoral college votes. Okay, yeah. So it is this. Okay. Arizona state law Now you're the most informed you've ever been. How do you feel about people wanting to do away with the electoral college? Such people claiming because the popular vote can be disregarded in some cases means we aren't living in a democracy. But democracy means a whole bunch of different things. There's not one thing of like a democracy. Also, I'm fine with the electoral college. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't have a huge deal with it. If you really wanted to change it, I think it would be pretty. I think you would have to amend the Constitution. I think. You would have to, I'm pretty sure you have to amend the Constitution. Well, yeah. No. Really, I think you would. Because I was thinking that like you could just have states all go by popular vote and then make enough electors to like but I think you'd have to amend the Constitution to do it. Or yeah, that's true too. You could get every single state to just pledge their electors to whoever wins the popular vote. You could do that. I'm new to you and really like your content. Can you explain why you don't like Vosh and Hasan? Is there some backstory I'm not aware of? Oh, there's lots of backstory. They both lie about me horrendously. I don't like Hasan because Hasan doesn't do good research. He's not. He just doesn't provide good information. He lies constantly. I don't like Vosh because Vosh also lies, and he's smart enough to know that he shouldn't be doing it. Vosh has more potential than Hasan does when it comes to media delivery, but Vosh is both lazy and a bad faith actor, so he just does whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I like Vosh a little bit more than Hasan, but both of them I think are pretty gross. But Hasan is like offensively stupid, and Vosh is just like he chooses to be a dipshit.
Real quick, you
Yeah.
there?
What's up?
Just real quick. I'm glad that you're going over the electoral college things because I think it's one additional argument against this anti-democracy thing about Biden's withdrawal. I know you don't care about it anyway.
Okay.
And it also a way to distinguish people who say, well, what about pushes to have the electors be faithless electors? When you're voting for president in a general election, you're not actually voting for president, right? You're voting for a slate of electors chosen by party insiders. Same thing with the nominations. You're not actually voting for Joe Biden in the nomination contest. You're voting for delegates who are loyal, handpicked by Joe Biden. And so there's nothing procedurally or officially wrong with advocating for electors to vote their conscience. That is the purpose, the intended purpose of having electors is to have one last check on the votes of the people. At least, that was one of the rationales for putting it in the first place. The people who do the real vote are the electors. In the context of the nominations, the real vote happens at the convention. And so everyone who voted for Joe Biden, your vote still counts. You voted for a slate of delegates, and those delegates are loyal to Joe Biden. And
I don't disagree with what you're saying in terms of like process. It's just most people aren't aware of this, so they don't feel that way, right? Even if it is true.
I understand that, but there has to be a way for you to distinguish in your mind the alternate, and there's other ways, of course, but the alternate slates of electors versus people who are saying, Trump's electors should just vote for Clinton or something like that, because they're materially different.
Well, hold on, wait. Well, wait, hold on,
Advocating for electors.
Wait, hold on, wait. I don't understand. I'm just saying to be very, very, very clear. When we talk about the delegates that the parties have, those are private, not state law. Those are their own thing.
True.
Those are way different than the electors that a state appoints. Those are going to be confined by the state laws and the state constitutions.
No, I get it, but I'm comparing the ideas where they're both indirect elections, and the real election are for the slates of delegates for purposes of the nomination, and for the slates of electors for purposes of the general election. And so, to the extent that you're saying that like the votes don't matter, well, no. I mean, like if you had a bunch of delegates that were sworn to Bernie Sanders versus a bunch of delegates sworn to Joe Biden, what you would be seeing now in terms of who the delegates are coalescing around would be very, very different. And so all of your votes absolutely did matter. It just happened that the candidate withdrew, and you could see a basis for the system in the nomination process in the actual general election process. One of the reasons why we would have an electoral college system is in case like the candidate died, right? Before the actual electoral vote. And so that level of formalism, I think, is relevant because also it tells you, I think, what grounds are on the table and what are not. trying to convince electors that for whatever reason, change circumstance happened, you can't vote for Joe Biden. You should vote for Trump in 2020. I don't think we wouldn't have called that like an attempted coup, right? Would we? Would you?
For what thing?
Trying to get, if all the Trump people did was trying to convince the electors to vote for Trump as opposed to Biden.
To vote for Trump? Wait, which electors?
The 2020 electors, to the Joe Biden electors, trying to convince
The DNC
the
delegates
slated-
or the state electors?
the state electors in 2020 to try to convince them prior
Oh.
to the electoral college vote. If all you were trying to do is convince them to vote for Trump,
We're getting
you
like
wouldn't-
we're getting like very, very procedural here, but it would vary based on the state laws. Like, how are they supposed to vote? Like, if you're encouraging them to do
assuming
something,
that there was no state law that required them to do so.
assuming there
that
was
there
no
were-
state law that required them to do so. Oof, I don't know, Chief. That's like a.
You would have a problem.
I
You would have a problem with that action as would you call that like a coup or anything that deserves
the
criminal
problem is
punishment
it
outside of
runs so contrary to our current understanding. It would be like me asking you, do you think that the president should be able to unilaterally decide to stay in office for 4 more years? But let's assume that like the Constitution has written, there's a button under his desk and he can push it to stay in office for 4 more years. Do you think he can do that? I'd be like, well, I guess like, yeah, but that's so contrary to the system, you know, that like, and then instead of having elections, we just have lobbyists that are all going to like electors, like telling them who to vote for. I don't think, yeah. But I mean, to the credit of that, the electors initially, did they move completely independently, or did they only listen to like landowner? I thought that the electors voted differently initially. I don't think that we had popular votes initially in states to determine who the electors voted for, right?
The states allocate their electors, and there was not a popular vote wasn't ubiquitous across the initial 13 states under the Constitution.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I don't know. I think that right now the expectation is that your electors are going to be faithful. I think I would have a problem with a bunch of faithless electors or electors being convinced to.
You would have a problem, but it wouldn't be the problem you have with the alternate slates of electors, right? It wouldn't be that problem. It would be like, oh, we need to change the Constitution to never let this happen.
Oh,
it would be like,
well,
oh, this is a dumb system.
Probably not. To be ultra super, to thread the needle a lot, I don't even necessarily think that the alternate slates of electors are necessarily bad, but it's how they went about it and what they were doing was clearly part of a broader conspiracy. Like, let's say, for instance, so we could easily imagine this. Donald Trump's campaign goes to these 7 states and he says, listen, because this is how they wanted to present it, okay? We are still challenging these election results, okay? We understand that on the 14th, all the electors voted, but we don't certify until the 6th. We are going to request in these 7 states, we should be allowed to make an alternate slate of electors in all 7 states, and then just in case we find voter fraud between now and January 6th, we don't want to be screwed because we don't have another slate of electors. Now we're totally fucked. So I think it's fair for us to request, can we just do alternate slates of electors? And you know what? They might have even been able to get away with that because so many Republicans were willing to go along with every cockamamie, crazy fucking plan they had. But they didn't do that. They were quiet about it. They kept it under wraps, and they were going to try to use it in coordination with the insurrection on the 6th to pressure Pence in order to accept these alternate slates of electors without there being voter fraud found. That's my issue. So on its own, I don't think that having alternate electorate slates are bad, kind of like Hawaii. That would be more comparable to Hawaii, as long as you're like talking to everybody about it. But they clearly were using this as part of a broader conspiracy.
So you're saying alternate slates of electors in your mind for the purpose of litigation strategy is different than alternate slates of electors for the purpose of Mike Pence unilateral bullshit.
Yeah, for sure. Because like the best faith reading of this would be, because let's say, for instance, because I don't even know if this is true, but this is what Chesbro is saying. I read all the text in some deposition or whatever, but like Chesbro is saying that like, let's say that on December 20th, let's say like 6 states all uncover massive voter fraud, right? You're like, holy shit, like this is actually fucked. Yeah. And then let's say January 6th rolls around and it's time to certify the vote. Well, let's say that we know that there's a ton of voter fraud. It's like, okay, well, fuck, maybe these states would have flipped their electorate votes or they would have done something different, but you've already transmitted your electoral votes as per the Constitution. Well, fuck, now you're fucked, right? Well, if you send in alternate slates, like Hawaii did in 1960, you could have them just say, well, we're going to authorize the other slates. And then in that case, I'm like, okay. I don't think I'd have any problem with that at all, right? Everything's in the open, everything's in the open up. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But that wasn't what they did.
But there has to be a cutoff at some point, right? Like, you would agree, like, after the absolute limit, like, you can't have these challenges after the new president is inaugurated. Is that fair? Do you agree with that?
I would say they would only go up to January 6th, if that, right?
Okay, but like, right. why do we need to have a cutoff why is it not okay to have a cutoff before January 6th in terms of when these challenges are stale? Why do we need to have that, like, a time lag period? If anyone is going to assess these situations, shouldn't it be Congress in these, like, kind of one-off situations?
Well, if you the question would just be like, how much time do you need to find the fraud? Well, the election was what, November 4th?
What do you mean?
The general election?
I think it was November 3rd, right?
Maybe it might be so November 3rd. So maybe by like December 14th, maybe you feel like you don't. That's when the electors vote. Maybe you feel like in a month you don't have time, and maybe in 2 more weeks you could find something. Maybe, but
yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's okay to have cutoff periods for when all your challenges have to be submitted by, and if there's like a problem afterwards, at a certain point your claim is going to be stale
for sure.
Because at a certain point there needs to be an inauguration, so we can't keep litigating this forever. That's one of the reasons why I think the challenges on procedural grounds are so offensive. The people who are trying to invalidate Act 77, for instance, after the election, when they knew in advance that this was going to be the way that it was going to be run.
Yeah.
Why didn't we see challenges trying to invalidate it prior to that?
Which I think some of the judges said too, right? Like you can't be challenging procedure when you've lost. That's insane. Like it
kind of a waiver
calls into questions. Your entire the motivation. Yeah.
Because I think it would have been really like, imagine that a Pennsylvania Supreme Court found actually Act 77 is unconstitutional afterwards.
Okay.
The remedy wouldn't be or even let's say that they found that Act 77 was unconstitutional before the electoral college meets.
Okay. December 14th, yeah.
What do you think the remedy should be? Invalidate the whole election?
Act 77 had to do with them extending slightly when they would
No. So we're extending mail-in voting to everybody.
Yeah.
And there was like a massive increase in mail-in voting in Pennsylvania versus in other years. So like some crazy amount of percentage increase were mail-in ballots. And the Pennsylvania Supreme Court says, that's all unconstitutional. You're not allowed to do that. You're supposed to limit it to people who fit into these categories.
The remedy would have to be redoing the election.
You think so?
Right?
Is that what you would rule?
Absolutely. It can't be casting those ballots out because you'd be disenfranchising like clearly a biased side or like it would heavily weight against one side, right? And if you're going to cast aside that many ballots, you're going to have to do a re-election, right?
Okay. Well, what if there's like a more minor issue, which is like they let people use mail-in voting with like blue pens and black pens, but it's actually unconstitutional to have to use a blue pen for mail-in ballots. But like, let's say 50% of mail-in votes were done with blue pens. In that case, there's a massive constitutional violation. You're only allowed to use black pens. Would you invalidate the election based on that?
I mean, if there is a constitutional violation and you're having, I think arguably you would, wouldn't you?
I don't think that every constitutional violation requires, when people in good faith,
every procedural one.
Advice.
Like I guess this would be the problem. Let's say that you have, let's say that you had people that showed up. Let's say that a ton of people, 1,000 people, start tweeting or screaming in anger. I showed up and all I had was a blue pen that day, and I couldn't fill out my thing. And now you guys are changing the procedure without notice, and now fuck me. I have these are my procedural rights. These are why procedural rights can be challenged without having to show an injury, right? To say that you've, something isn't right here. But I mean, obviously these would be like historically massively huge cases. So I'm sure there might be some things that would depend. I don't know what the case law is here or whatever.
The notion that there are some constitutional violations that would be so severe that everyone would agree that the election should be redone. For example, if there was widespread reports that like a certain racial minority just wasn't being allowed to vote.
Sure.
I think you would agree instantly, like nullify the results of the election and do a new one. Fair?
Probably. Yeah, almost certainly. Yeah.
But and then you have cases where like, okay, this is more, it was unconstitutional under the state constitution, so says the state Supreme Court, to use the blue pens or to have the ballot drop-offs in these various locations, but we're not going to invalidate a whole election for it. And then you kind of have these kind of middle ground areas, I don't know if you're going to call it a zone of twilight, where like, okay, a major substantive method of voting, that is mail-in voting, extended to the entire population, supposing that were invalidated, well, what do? You have a bunch of people who are relying in good faith on the legislature to pass a law. Remember, Act 77 was a Pennsylvania state law. Yeah. They're relying on their legislators to pass constitutional laws, and it just so happens that it's ruled unconstitutional. In that situation where it is, an area of major substance, but it could affect the outcome of the election, and it's now been ruled unconstitutional, I think that you should have a way to think about, maybe not for the future conversations, but just putting it out there that, what constitutional, what legal issues would you find severe enough to undo?
You know what I would say? I would say that we would look at the regulation for how they made it so that you could have the different colored pens, and even if it was against the law, we would see if the statutory construction was permissible, and as long as it was permissible, we'd say, you know what, that can stand. I think that's totally a-okay.
Chevron doctrine.
Yeah, we'd say that's a-okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? What is the answer to that? Esports Batman came in earlier and talked through like some like the concept of
yeah.
Go ahead, or like procedural due process and everything. Yeah.
So this is my thought process. I think that once a state grants a vote for president, they don't have to, but once they do, it becomes a fundamental right. And once it becomes a fundamental right, I think our proper frame of analysis is strict scrutiny, just like any other right, right? You cannot burden a fundamental right, such as voting, unless the regulation is narrowly tailored and for a compelling state interest. And so I think that any kind of, I think that is a federal constitutional protection. So in my opinion, in order to invalidate and thereby deprive people of their fundamental right to vote, you're going to have to show that the procedural rule.
Well, wait, hold on. Which side of the equation is the strict scrutiny applying to here? Is it going to be the people?
Government.
The people
regulation.
Was it the people that were allowed to vote or the people that weren't allowed to vote? Like who are we thinking of here?
Oh, sorry. This would potentially apply to the remedy. So the government, even judicial acts can be measured for sort of comporting with the Constitution. The judicial act of nullifying the whole election would undoubtedly infringe on even lawfully cast ballots. Fair?
It seems to be the case, yeah.
Right.
But then the question would be like, wouldn't there be a greater injury on the party that isn't even allowed to cast a vote then? Like, because the people who are getting their vote invalidated could cast another ballot, right?
The people who are getting their vote everyone's vote. We're talking about nullifying if the remedy were nullifying the entire election as opposed to just nullifying the specific things.
Yeah.
If you were just nullifying the specific things, I think there you have an equal protection problem. And the equal protection problem is, well, both, with respect to fundamental rights, if you make categories of people and treat them differently based on a fundamental right, that can also be a trigger for strict scrutiny. And so I think there's two ways of conceptualizing it. If the remedy is to just nullify the whole election, I think you have a substantive problem there, a fundamental rights problem. And
I do think that it's, although I think, I don't know in terms of legal analysis, like when you talk about the level of scrutiny that you want to apply, we're generally looking to see if there's like a violation of equal protections, right?
Either, right? It can either be triggered with equal protection. That's the classic, the equal protection stuff. But also in the context of fundamental rights, if you think about like.
But when we're talking about this particular issue here, we're talking about whether or not a given law or regulation is violative of a constitution. Does a scrutiny argument apply here?
Yeah, sure. Because this in Bush v. Gore, the court described that once a state decides to have a presidential election, that right becomes fundamental, even though they don't have to have it in the first instance, right? You don't even have to have it. When you
say that a right becomes fundamental, does that mean as though it were constitutionally granted? Is that what you mean there?
Like, right.
Okay.
Exactly. Even though that there's no constitutional right to vote for president, and there isn't, because it's all allocated to the states, the court has described that once you decide to have an election for president, then and only then does it become fundamental.
Gotcha.
And I think that's a proper analysis, yeah. It's a little bit weird because then you would ask the question like, well, what if a state decides to just pass a law that nullifies their election and just give all their electors to Donald Trump? How would you analyze that? Would you take into consideration the state's like plenary authority to assign their electors first? Or would you say that like once they've granted that right to vote, that should be respected? That's another issue that,
Sure. Well, I mean, for that, all of the becomes a fundamental right thing, it gets us over the hump of how can we ever have, because theoretically a regulation or law should never contravene a constitution, right? A state constitution should always be supreme over, there is no way to overcome that. So the fundamental right allows you to overcome that. Well, now actually we're doing a different type of constitutional analysis, but if you are doing if you're trying to change the way that votes are assigned or anything like that, you would still have to get you'd have to hit the constitutional question, right? Like if they change the Constitution, they theoretically could do it, but if they did something that contravenes the Constitution, they can't do it unless you find a way, I guess, to implicate those rights in a way that becomes
Better.
fundamental. And
Yeah. Just some thoughts, bro.
okay, I
If
love it.
you're what's up?
Oh, I love you. I thought you were gonna leave. What's up?
I'm about to leave you, but I just wanted to say I really recommend that you watch it, like that 10 minutes with me and with Andrew Wilson moderating that discussion about insurrection. If you're
Okay.
going to have a debate on that, because I think that just it's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love you, baby.
All right,
girl.
man. Much love.
God, I got such a fucking nerd. Ultimately, there were 7 different states whom were selected to send all slates of electorates out to or from those states, and the accompanying state laws that would dictate, or that do dictate, slates of electors are legally supposed to be chosen. True or false? Eastman's position was that Pence was sole authority for deciding ballot validity during certification. He was hoping either 1, VP chooses false electors and slates they needed, or 2, VP becomes confused and defers to the House. True. That is what I believe Eastman was doing, at least by the second memo, yeah. I'll just include the Eastman memos in here, though. Okay, Georgia, 16 electors. Do you think the Supreme Court should be changed? If so, how do you think it can be improved? I think every president should get 2 Supreme Court justice picks. I think that would be better than what we do now, where it's like a lottery. Georgia, state law, states. Okay. Georgia code, blah, 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 here requires that the electors assemble at the seat of government of this state at 12 o'clock noon on December 14th. But what does seat of government mean? See here. At minimum, they must meet somewhere in Atlanta. Must they meet in the Capitol building? And then here is another part of the code. It supplies a mechanism for replacing 1 or more of the 16 electors if someone dies or fails to attend. In that event, the electors in attendance shall proceed to choose by vote a person of the same political party to fill the vacancy. However, there's a wrinkle. Unlike in other states where that choice is automatically effective, in Georgia, a choice must be ratified. What would then be the term limits of the justice? 12 years? I don't know, whatever it would ordinarily be. Okay, Georgia State Code 21 to 11. What if 3 justices die in one president's term? Then the next guy gets more. We could figure it out. I don't understand why you ask like questions that you would just figure out an exception to. That's called packing the courts? No, it's not called packing the courts. Wait, what? Georgia should have their law online. Hello? Oh, here we go. Thank you. Okay, 21 to 11. Wait, the fuck is this? Chapter. Is it really this far off? Code "and." What the fuck does the "and" mean? Christ. Do I have to go to a whole different department? Department 21 to 11. No. Okay. But it's Rule 183, maybe? Department 183 for elections? Okay. Georgia Municipal Election Code. 21 to 11. No? I don't know if I'm on the right thing. Rules and regulations. State of Georgia, electoral college. It's funny how a donut operator should talk to you for your takeout, but his entire channel is him making fun of people who get killed by cops. Bayzed. $21,247. This is not. Okay, Title 21. Georgia Code, Title 21. Georgia Code, Title 21. What is this, AIDS? Oh, is it like just a bill? They don't have it listed on their site? Shouldn't this be? GA code AN. I don't know what that AN means. Maybe it means it was a bill or something? Nope. This? Qualifications, disqualifications for holding state or county. Holy. Oh my god. Seat of government. Oh, we found it. Okay, 21 to 11. 21 to... Wait, oh my god, it's skipping around. Wait, presidential elector. Okay, wait, I think that was it. Okay. Presidential elector. Yeah, it's this. Okay, qualifications. Neither the state constitution nor laws establish any specific qualifications for this office. Since presidential electors are state officials, the general qualifications established for state officials apply as follows. Must be a citizen of the state, must be at least 21 years of age. Why does January 6th matter when it comes to the Eastman memo? What would the counterfactual be if January 6th riot didn't happen? Could they still implement the Eastman plan? They could, but January 6th, the ellipsis speech and everything, is what turns it from a coup into an insurrection. I think Donald Trump wanted there to be violence on that day to pressure, through violence, the Congress to pick his fake electors. I think that was part of the plan. It was all like working concurrently with each other. Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled to in the Congress. In the wait, actually, I'm so sorry. Hold on, wait, real quick. Oh, this is true too. I should just have this. False Arizona slate of electors were not elected and did not cast their ballots appointed by the state. Okay. That's good to have. Okay, Georgia. What? Oh. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Okay. If Trump wasn't intentionally pushing for violence on J6, does that alter your opinion at all? I mean, it changes it from an insurrection to a coup. Wait, what is this? State laws regarding electors. Oh, this is just what I'm looking up on my own, but okay. And this is for November 2016. Don't care. Cringe. Okay. Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number. Okay. Each state shall appoint. So you're pretty much there. They all follow the state laws, so they are legit? What? No. In Arizona, they did not follow the state laws. The electors were not elected, and they did not cast their ballots in concordance with the popular vote reported by the state. So for Arizona, that's not true. My guess is going to be for all of these, it's not true, but I just want to read the statutes myself, just to see. Oh, this is incorporated or listed from the Constitution, Article 2 stuff. The names of the nominees of political parties nominated in a primary, the names of the nominees of political parties for the office of presidential elector, and the names of candidates nominated in a nonpartisan primary shall be placed on the election ballot without filling the notice of candidacy otherwise required by this code section. Eligibility of writing candidates, don't care about this. The names of nominees of political parties nominated in a primary, the names of nominees of political presidential elector, cool. And the names of Wait, you don't in Georgia? They don't vote for their electors, do they? Or the names of the candidates nominated in a non-partisan primary shall be placed on the election ballot without their filing the notice of candidacy, otherwise required by this code section. Or maybe they're just automatically elected with the president, I guess? Eligibility of write-in candidate. As if any dies.